Is Matt Manning a must-add? Let's find out on Fantasy Baseball Today in 5. Welcome into FBT in 5. As always, make sure to follow and stream us on Spotify. Today is Thursday, August 25th. I am Frank Stanfield, joined by Scott White. And let's talk about Matt Manning, a former top pitching prospect in the game who went 6 shutout innings against the San Francisco Giants and had 8 strikeouts to 0 walks in this one. And he's looked a lot better recently, Scott. He's throwing the slider more, which is getting a bunch of whiffs. 31% rostered, widely available. Is Matt Manning a must-add?
I'm not going to say a must-add, but I think he is addable anywhere in a league of any depth. He is clearly trending the right direction now. And you mentioned formerly a top prospect, 5 times in the Baseball America Top 100, had a very consistently dominant minor league career until 2021, the year he got called up. He had an 8.07 ERA and 7 starts at AAA. Tigers kind of set him up for failure by calling him up then, and that's mostly what he's known since reaching the big leagues. What's changed here over his last 4 starts, and I cite the last 4 starts because it's 4 consecutive double-digit swinging strike efforts for Matt Manning. His entire career before then, he had just 2. What's changed for him over these 4 starts is that slider that you mentioned. He missed time earlier this year with a shoulder injury, and he worked on that slider. He says it has more horizontal break now. He says it looks like his fastball now. Its whiff rate is up over 40% now for the season, and it was the key pitch in this start. It might be the key to him recapturing that potential. I mean, we saw that with Reed Detmers, right? He got sent to the minors, hadn't had much success in the majors, got sent to the minors, comes back, looks like a different guy because of the changed slider. And maybe happening again with Matt Manning. So not a bad idea to take a flyer on him.
All right, I'll compare him to 3 other names, Scott. Would you take Manning over Eduardo Rodriguez, Nick Lodolo, and Justin Steele?
I will go with Justin Steele first. And I think I don't remember what I said on the main podcast now. It's a really close call between Matt Manning and Nick Lodolo. I think I prefer Lodolo, but it's a close call. And then Matt Manning might be right there after them.
All right, let's talk about a few other waiver wire pitchers, more so for deeper leagues, these 2 names. Spenser Watkins went 6 innings, 2 runs, 5 strikeouts against the White Sox, and in 9 games, 8 starts since returning to the Orioles, he's got a 2.83 ERA. And Brayan Bello, also a former top pitching prospect, returned to the Red Sox rotation. He was up against the Blue Jays. He went 5 innings, 2 runs, 7 strikeouts in that one. Scott, any interest in these 2 in deeper leagues? Watkins, Bello.
I mean, I definitely have interest in Bello, not to the point of adding him because it had been pretty awful prior to this start. This is really the first bit of success we've seen from him in the majors, and it came against the Blue Jays. So, pretty good lineup. 13 swinging strikes on 65 pitches. The changeup has been his best pitch in terms of quality of contact and getting swinging strikes, and it was successful for him in this one, of course. He threw the sinker a lot more. Maybe that pairs better with the changeup. I don't know. Maybe this is the start of something for Bello, but I'm not willing to count on him based on just one start.
All right, a few waiver wire outfielders. We talk about Lars Nootbaar again. It's the summer of Nootbaar. He just keeps crushing it. He went 1 for 4 with his 5th home run, 49% rostered. But Oscar Gonzalez also heating up. He went 1 for 4 with his 5th homer as well. Back-to-back games with a home run, nearly 110 mile per hour exit velocity on that homer. And the launch angle has been up since returning from injury. So who would you rather have, Scott, Nootbaar or Oscar Gonzalez?
Sometimes you feel like a Newt. Sometimes you don't. Nootbaar is who I want. Yes, over Nootbaar, I think needs to be picked up everywhere. 3 outfielder leagues, points leagues. He's walking so much. Incidentally, walking is something Oscar Gonzalez doesn't do much of at all. But I do think the power hitting is pretty good, and I think he's kind of behind pace in terms of where he should be with home runs. And hopefully, this back-to-back game with home runs is the start of it. He probably deserves to be rostered in any 5x5 league, particularly 5 5x5 leagues. I'd want to pick up Gonzalez, but Nootbaar everywhere.
All right. Two names we keep getting a lot of questions about, Scott. Would you drop JD Martinez or Ketel Marte for either of these two?
I would drop both for Nootbaar, unless you needed Ketel Marte for second base, obviously. I would drop neither for Gonzalez.
All right. For more extensive fantasy baseball coverage, listen to the Fantasy Baseball Today podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Stitcher, your smart speakers, or anywhere else podcasts are found. And thanks for listening to Fantasy Baseball Today in 5. We'll be back again tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.